Food Network star and BurrellMedics did not give her Narcan at scene. More news following the tragic death of late Food Network star and Burrell. Authorities say medics did not attempt to revive her with Narcan because she was already dead when they found her. According to a police report reviewed by TMZ, Anne's husband, Stuart Claxton, found her body lying face up on the shower floor of a bathroom in their Brooklyn home at 7:40 a.m. on June 17 last year. When emergency responders arrived, they pronounced Anne dead at 8 a.m., the report said. The NYC office of the chief medical examiner ruled the official manner of death as suicide and the cause of death as acute intoxication due to the combined effects of diphenhydramine, ethanol, cetirizine, and amphetamine. Naloxone, sold under the brand name Narcan, is a medicine that chiefly acts as an antagonist, rapidly reversing an opioid overdose. But it also reduces the neurochemical and behavioral effects of amphetamines. However, paramedics had already determined Anne was beyond help, so they did not need to administer Narcan. According to the report, as we previously reported, investigators say they found a suicide note in the primary bedroom of Anne's home as well as suicidal journal entries on a bed in the same room as the note, and a native New Yorker hosted Food Network shows Secrets of a Restaurant Chef and Worst Cooks in America, among others. She also appeared in the Iron Chef franchise. If you or someone you know is struggling or in crisis, help is available. Call or text 988 or chat. Disclaimer: the following is a fictional, creative work and not a factual account of real events. The studio lights were still warm when Anne Burrell stepped off set, her laugh echoing down the corridor like the bright clang of a copper pan. Hours earlier, she had been commanding the kitchen stadium with her signature spiky platinum hair and unapologetic swagger, turning chaos into cuisine the way only she could. Butter sizzled, knives flashed, contestants trembled, and Anne, as always, stood fearless in the heat. No one expected the heat to follow her outside. It happened quickly. A stumble near the craft services table. A hand to her temple. A sharp inhale, as if the air itself had thickened. Crew members rushed forward. Someone called 911. The clangor of production dissolved into the sharper rhythm of fear. When paramedics arrived, they moved with crisp efficiency. Questions. Flashlights. Blood pressure cuff. Oxygen. And then, almost as quickly as the sirens had come, they were gone again and conscious, stable, on her way to the hospital for observation. But the silence they left behind did not last. By nightfall, whispers ignited across social media. Why didn't medics administer Narcan at the scene? It was a single speculative post that cracked the door. Within hours, it became a storm. Comment threads filled with assumptions disguised as concern. Anonymous accounts cited unnamed sources. Headlines sharpened their edges, chasing clicks. Narcan. The word carried weight, life-saving, urgent, tied to a national crisis, but also accusatory in implication. It suggested a story that had not been told, a cause that had not been confirmed, a narrative that did not belong to the truth. Inside a quiet hospital room, Anne lay propped against white pillows, fur dripping steadily beside her. Exhaustion lined her face, but her eyes were open, alert. A dehydration episode, doctors said. Severe fatigue after weeks of back-to-back filming and travel. Nothing more sinister than a body demanding rest. Her phone buzzed relentlessly on the bedside table. She stared at the ceiling. For decades, she had built a career on intensity, on pushing harder, louder, brighter. From culinary school to restaurant kitchens to television stardom, she had thrived in environments where the flame was always high. Brown food tastes good, she loved to say, urging students to let ingredients develop color, depth, character. But now her own life was being browned too quickly by the searing heat of public speculation. A producer stepped quietly into the room. "It's getting out of hand," he admitted. "They're asking why Narcan wasn't used. As if that means something." And gave a tired half-smile. "It means they don't have a better story." The truth was simpler, less dramatic, less clickable. The paramedics hadn't administered Narcan because there had been no indication of opioid involvement. No respiratory depression. No pinpoint pupils. No clinical reason. Medicine, unlike rumor, followed evidence. But nuance rarely trends. By morning, her team released a statement.
Clear. Direct.
Medical professionals had evaluated her and found no evidence requiring opioid reversal medication. She had experienced acute exhaustion and dehydration. She was resting comfortably and expected to return home soon. The internet did not quiet immediately. It never does. But slowly, the noise fractured. Loyal fans posted recipes in her honor. Roasted chicken with crispy skin, her beloved red pepper flakes sprinkled generously. Former contestants shared stories of her mentorship, the way she barked corrections but slipped encouragement underneath, like salt folded into dough. A culinary school student wrote, "Chef and taught us to own our mistakes and get back on the line." That phrase lingered. Get back on the line. When and finally addressed the public herself, she did it the only way she knew how, directly, without garnish. In a short video filmed from her kitchen at home, she stood in front of her stove, hair tied back, eyes clear. "Hey everyone," she began. "I gave my body a little too much heat and not enough water. That's on me." The medics did exactly what they're trained to do. They assessed the situation and treated what was actually happening. I'm grateful for them. I'm grateful for rest. And I'm grateful for all of you who sent good vibes instead of gossip. She paused, then added with a familiar spark, "Now drink some water and roast something properly." The video spread just as quickly as the rumors had. But this time the tone shifted. The conversation became about burnout, about the culture of relentless hustle, about how even the strongest personalities are still human bodies with limits. In the weeks that followed, Anne returned to set, not diminished, but recalibrated. She called more breaks during filming. She drank water between takes. She told contestants with unusual softness, "You can't cook well if you're running on empty." The incident, real in its scare, fictional in its exaggerations, became a reminder of the thin line between crisis and conjecture, between medicine and myth, between a moment and a narrative. Narcan remained what it has always been, a vital, life-saving medication in the right circumstance. But it was never part of hers. What was part of hers was resilience. In kitchens, heat transforms raw ingredients into something richer. But too much flame, unchecked, can scorch. And Burrell had built a career teaching others how to control the fire.